1533 AD, 54:27 AM. European records tell of a bright comet in this year. It was observed by Copernicus. Ivan IV is born, later to become Ivan the Terrible, a Russian Tsar who idolised Vlad the Impaler. 1. Prophets of Doom. 2. Introduction to Comets. 1534 AD, 54:28 AM. King Henry VIII of England passed the Act of Supremacy, which made the King of England the head of the English Church instead of the papacy in Rome. He began closing monasteries and confiscating church property, inadvertently giving rise to Protestantism in England, though this was not his intent. Nostradamus predicted an outbreak of the plague, but his teachers, resenting his rising popularity for his successful cures and outspoken unorthodox theories, resented his acumen and were in essence his worst opposers. But the plague did return, and in the exact year he predicted it. Nostradamus further foretold that a bright light would appear in the heavens in 1572, and accordingly in 1572 a nova startled the world with its magnificence for months. He described and dated the Great Fire of London in 1666, and accurately described modern tanks, planes, submarines, aerial combat, time bombs, the emergence of Western nations across the sea, America, and its war against the East, as well as radio, television, sea vessels made of iron, unheard of in his day, and even declared that sometime after 1997 AD, a great prophet will arise in Christendom, a new priest who will reform and revitalise the entire structure of the Christian faith. He compiled a chronology of Earth history that deduced the period from Adam to Jesus to be 3962 years. This is only 35 years off the mark, counting from Adam's banishment in 3895 BC, 1 Annus Mundi, to the year of the crucifixion event in 33 AD. He also deduced that from Noah to Abraham was 1080 years, and amazingly, from Noah's 13th year alive to Abraham's death was 1080 years, 2826 till 1772 BC. In this year, Ignatius Loyola founded the Society of Jesus, Jesuits, agents of the Roman Catholic Church. The fall of Roman Church power in England was exactly 480 years after the division of the Roman Church in 1054 AD. 1. History of Civilization, Volume 1. 2. Sages and Seers. 3. Secrets of Nostradamus. 1536 AD, 54:30 AM. John Calvin published his Institutes of the Christian Religion, the first Protestant textbook. He is most famous for his belief in predestination, that the future redemption of the elect was already set long before the past was begun. 1. The Discoverers. 1538 AD, 54:32 AM. Nostradamus was witness to the overnight creation of a volcanic mountain in Naples. 1. Secrets of Nostradamus. 1539 AD, 54:33 AM. The King of England's chief minister, Thomas Cromwell, commissioned an English translation of the scriptures called the Great Bible, 1 History in Quotations. 1540 AD, 54:34 AM. The Jews are expelled from Italy. Also in Italy, Pope Paul III formally authorised the existence of the Jesuits. Peter Appian, in his Astronomicon Caesarium, published in this year, remarked that comet tails always point away from the sun. He had studied the comet of 1531. Spanish miners searching for silver and gold traces near Callao, Peru, removed earth in a deep mine shaft and were surprised to discover an entombed wooden ship of extreme antiquity, unlike any they were familiar with. For other unusual discoveries of ships underground, see 1503 and 1460 AD. 1. Jewish supremacism. 2. Mysteries and magic. 3. Introduction to comets. 4. Secret cities of old South America. 1541 AD, 54:35 AM. Mercator built a map of the world in the form of a globe, the most accurate of its kind at the time. 1542 AD, 54:36 AM. Pope Paul III revived the Inquisition, calling it the Congregation of the Inquisition, or Roman Inquisition. with the chief aim to crush the spirit and spread of Protestantism in Italy. Portuguese explorers reached Japan by sailing around Africa and on through the Arabian and Indian seas, and around China through Indonesia for the first time. England joins the horrible practice of burning witches, the brutal torture and killing of women. This was predicted by Mother Shipton, Ursula Southwell, born 1488. In the 194 years of English insanity, they would burn to death about 30,000 females. This was much less than those burned on the continent. This was the 476th year since the Norman invasion and takeover of England. 1 March of the Titans, 2 Christ the Power and the Passion. 1453 AD, 54:37 AM. Nicholas Copernicus published his Concerning the Revolution of the Heavenly Bodies, wherein he attacked the church-propagated belief in the geocentric universe. In his heliocentric system, he provided evidence that Earth was not the centre of creation or the centre of the solar system, but just another planet orbiting a star. A Catholic priest himself, he had refused to publicise his findings because of the oppressive censorship of the Church, fearing retribution through the Inquisition. The forced ignorance was ridiculous and damaging, Aristarchus having 18 centuries earlier already proposed that Earth moved around the Sun. 1 History of Civilization, Volume 1. 1546 AD, 54:40 AM. A gigantic asteroid or comet body passed through the inner system and crossed over the ecliptic after 52 years beneath the ecliptic. It spent 40 years north of the ecliptic plane, completing its 92-year orbit. This is exactly 500 years before this object collided into the North American continent. 1547 AD, 54:41 AM. Ivan IV, Vasilievich the Terrible, crowned as Russia's first Tsar, age 17. Ivan the Terrible idolised Vlad the Impaler and emulated him by having enemies and political dissidents impaled. He invented cruel tortures and he nailed the hats on the heads of foreign emissaries. 1551 AD, 54:45 AM. Sweating sickness returned to London, England, and then quickly dies out. It has not returned as of 2012 AD.